Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a word you've heard 1,000 times, but we're going to look at it in a totally new light. We're talking about research. Not as some dusty, boring term from a textbook, but as the powerful, unstoppable engine that drives all of human progress.
You know, it all boils down to this one fundamental question. How do we get from, I think this is true, to I know this is true? How does a hunch, a guess, an idea, how does that transform into a solid fact we can actually build on?
Well, it turns out there's a bridge that takes us from the shaky ground of guessing to the solid footing of knowing. And that bridge isn't built by accident. It's built with curiosity, with hard data, and with a really systematic effort. That incredible tool, that bridge, is research.
So, to really get a grip on what this tool can do for us, we've got to first understand what it actually is. Let's dig in and see how the experts have pinned down this powerful process over the years.
Okay, here's a great place to start, from Cresswell. The two key words here are process and steps. That tells you right away that research isn't just a random shot in the dark, right? It's a structured journey, a method, a recipe for collecting and looking at information with one clear goal: to understand something better than we did before.
Now, Kurlinger really ups the ante here with some heavy-hitting words. Let's just break them down real quick. Systematic means it's orderly. There's a plan. Controlled means we're trying to weed out all the noise. Empirical means it's based on stuff we can actually see and measure, real evidence. And critical means we're always questioning, always poking at it to see if it holds up. It's all about being rigorous.
And then the OECD throws in a word that I absolutely love, and it's one we often forget: creative. This is so important because it reminds us that research isn't just some cold robotic process. It can be a deeply creative act, a way to add to the grand library of everything humanity knows about, well, everything. All right, so let's boil all of that down into one single clear idea we can hang on to. At its heart, research is a systematic investigation, and it really has three main jobs. 1, to discover brand new stuff. 2, to check if the stuff we think we know is actually right. And 3, to solve a real, specific problem. That's pretty much the whole game.
So, okay, we know what research is, but what's it trying to do? What's the mission here? If research is a journey, think of these objectives as the destinations marked on the map. A huge part of the mission is just pure exploration. I mean, it's about being an adventurer, right? Venturing into the unknown to map it out. It's about cooking up new ideas or taking old ideas and putting them through a stress test to see if they break. And sometimes it's just about describing what's there, or digging and digging until you find the real root of a problem.
But look, research isn't just about knowing things for the sake of knowing. It's also about doing things. This is the super practical side of the mission. It's about giving leaders solid evidence so they can stop guessing and make better decisions. It's about solving real-world problems that affect you and me, and just making the things we do every day work a little bit better.
And that's all great, but it can still feel a little abstract, can it? So let's ask the question that really matters. Okay, but what has any of this ever really done for me? For you, in our actual lives? The answer, and this is no exaggeration, is just about everything. The impact of research is literally all around you every single day. So now, let's connect the dots. Let's follow the chain from a simple little question all the way to massive, world-changing impact.
Every single giant leap forward we've ever made as a species started right here, with a spark, a new piece of information, a fresh idea, a different way of looking at the world. This is the foundation. This is the first domino.
And that new knowledge, that abstract idea, it doesn't just sit in a book on a shelf. It becomes the fuel for creation. It's the raw material that engineers and innovators and creators grab to build the phones in our pockets, the medicines we take, the whole modern world.
And the ripple effect just keeps getting bigger. Those new technologies and products, well, they create entire new industries. They create millions of jobs. They fuel the economic engine that helps lift the standard of living for everyone. And at the end of that whole chain reaction, it comes right back to us, to our quality of life. Research is why we have healthcare that helps us live longer, healthier lives. It's why we have better ways to educate our kids. It's how we solve the biggest challenges we face, from medicine to the environment.
So, where does this incredible engine go from here? Well, as our problems get more and more complex, things like climate change or pandemics that don't care about borders, the way we do research has to evolve too. It's becoming a team sport.
And this shows the shift perfectly. So the old way might be a lone biologist studying why there are fewer fish, but the new way? The new way gets a biologist, an economist, and a sociologist in the same room. Suddenly, they're not just looking at the fish. They're looking at the whole picture, the environment, the local economy, and how it all impacts the people who live there. It's a game changer.
And the benefits of teaming up like this are just huge. You get way more innovative ideas when you smash different viewpoints together. You get a much more complete 360-degree solution to these tangled problems. And as a bonus, it forces experts to learn how to talk to each other, which is an amazing skill all by itself.
So when you pull back and look at the whole thing, the picture becomes crystal clear. It starts with one person asking a simple question. That question sparks a journey of discovery. And that journey, time and time again, leads to a better, healthier, and more connected world for all of us. Research really is the engine of human progress.
And that brings us to the end. But really, it's more of a beginning, isn't it? The world is just brimming with unanswered questions, with fascinating puzzles, and with big challenges that are just waiting for someone to tackle them. So I'll just leave you with this one thought. Which one will you explore?